Hello, Gail here, and I think we're going to have to stop meeting like this. Hopefully, one of these days soon, we will be able to see each other in person. But for June, Rick and I still feel that it's best for us to not have people coming into the house. Just that's just our decision at this point in time. But I am excited to be able to once again offer the June class via a virtual class on Zoom. And I hope that when you take a look at the cards that we're going to be making, that you will think that you want to join us. In the last 2 months, both in April and May, I've had at least 4 or 5 people in each class, and they've enjoyed being able to ask me questions during the process, being able to work together, actually do show and tell. And so hopefully you'll decide to join us this month and be a part of this. And then maybe in July, we'll be able to sit down at the tables together. You'll see the little blue light flashing on me. I had been having some issues with the audio on my Zoom recordings, and I discovered that I needed to switch to a different microphone. And so my Bluetooth headset provides me with that microphone, and I believe that we're getting a better quality of video and audio because of that this time. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the 4 cards. I'm going to talk a little bit about the techniques that will be involved with each of the cards and the options that you'll have. I will be listing those below here in the video description, as well as if you're on my email list and you're getting that email, then you will have them there. I will also be posting this up to Facebook, and those options will go on in that Facebook post as well. So let's take a look at June's class. This is the first card. It is using the stamp of the month for June, which is called Garden Tags. And I know that it's going to be a very popular set, that a lot of people are going to want that. I had indicated in the earlier email that the dies for the stamp set that coordinate with this were not available. They are back in stock now, so that's nice. I've had some people already start to order them. But this is the set. You can see the 4 images of the tags that are available on this set, which are just great and so versatile in many ways. As a tag by itself, or here we're putting them onto the card base. What I've done is taken that die that has the frame to it. It has 12 different openings on it. And I've cut that out of the mint cardstock. And then I'm embossing a piece that goes behind it. At the time that I'm recording, I still do not have my quilted embossing folder, which is in the June and May-June catalog. It should have arrived today. It has not. So that is what I'm actually going to be using to emboss the page that goes behind that stitched frame. And you'll have a different image in each one of those sections of the frame. So that will be fun to be able to look at that. Then there's 2 of the tags, one that's been done on the ballerina and stamped in Pixie. The other one is for you to color, and you can color it in whatever way you want. Tie your bow. You'll notice we're using some gold glitter gems on this. And the sentiment here is just a very small strip across the bottom. You'll notice the monochromatic background for this, so that you don't really notice it so much, but it allows you to put a thin sentiment. For that, we are using last month's stamp of the month, which was Time to Celebrate. It has all kinds of sentiments on there, that happy Mother's Day, Father's Day, just happy day works. Happy birthday, you're the best, thank you. You can see this one, the Time to Celebrate. I'll type all those out for you so that you can see what the sentiments are that can be used on this. So that is the first card, and it goes together pretty quickly, and a very limited amount of coloring for you to do on this one. You'll be receiving some of this nice white twill type ribbon to tie those 2 together, and you just pop them together and it's ready to go. So that's card number 1. The second card is making use of the stamp set make a splash. And it has these rain boots on it. When I think of rain boots, I think of rubber glossy rain boots that, kids are out splashing around in the water in. And so I thought, I want to be able to make them glossy also. And you can see there, the color is shining off there because I'm using the UV coated cardstock that comes with the Blue Skies paper pack. And also I used the sapphire piece back here. You can see how that's got that glossy UV coating on it as well. And use those for those pieces as well as the piece behind the circle, our sun in this instance, because the sentiment says sending sunshine on a gloomy day. So what I did was here's the large piece of cardstock, and I stamped it using archival black ink. Now, I tried our intense black. I knew that our regular black would not work on the shiny surface, but I thought maybe the intense black would, but it still smudged after I had allowed it to dry for a while. But our archival black, which is a waterproof ink, did just fine with it. I did let it dry for about an hour before I cut the boots out and put them on there, but it allowed us to get that design from the UV coating back there without having to do any coloring or any embossing with that. So it's a quick, fun way to do it. Now the stamp set actually comes with this flower design, but I decided I wanted something a little bit simpler. So I used the flowers that came with the Mason Jar Bouquet set. We're using them with the Mason jar also, but you can see that they're inserted into the boot. I will send you one of these pieces if that's the way that you want to use it. You're welcome to do that. Now, for the sentiment up here, sending sunshine on a gloomy day is a great one for a lot of different reasons. But if you want something different, these are the other options that you will have. Happy birthday, 2 options for that. Thinking of you, something to brighten your day, something special just for you. So you'll need to let me know which one of those sentiments you want to use, and it will go right up here in your on your sun up there. The background paper here, the gray stripes, I kind of thought instead of having a cloudy day or cloud images back there, the gray back there kind of gave that feeling to it. But it's bright enough that it doesn't really have to be a gloomy card in any way whatsoever. I did pop up the boots and the flowers up there, but it's, again, because you have very limited coloring just on the flowers here, it makes it really quick. And everything has been pre-cut for you, so there's no fussy cutting whatsoever. And again, you can start to see the reflection off of the sun because of the UV coating on those. Okay, some nice bright colors with that one. Another card that has nice bright colors is our Ladybug. If I say butterfly, I apologize because I have been calling this a butterfly set since I received it, and I do not know why. But this is using the paper from the Stitch Together paper pack. And again, I'm using the red candy apple from the Blue Skies cardstock pack that has that UV coating on it. I thought that just provided a lot of dimension and texture without doing anything extra to the card. So the die actually cuts an outline image for each of these dots that are going on there. You are going to be gluing these dots on because of the difficulty of stamping lots of solid dots on the UV coating background, but you'll have the stitched background to see. In fact, you can see on the back here the stitches that have come through. So that was just a notice on my phone, which is the camera that I'm using right here, that there's some road closure someplace, so I apologize for that. So here's the way it opens up. Ladybug kisses and birthday wishes is the sentiment that I've used on this one, but there are others. Besides the birthday, there's hey there little lady, or flying by to say hello. I'm making this one up for my mother. And as you might have guessed with this ring, it actually can be a shaker card. We are not using it as a shaker card in this instance. We're just doing it flat, but you can see the versatility of it. But it could be done as a shaker if you have the elements to do that. The other thing that I'm going to show you is another piece of that UV coated cardstock right here. This is the green. You can't see a great deal of detail with it there, but it has the stripes on it. And just that little bit, when you see it in person, it really does show up and give a little bit of pop right there on it. Now, because we had that UV coating on the red, I thought it would be nice to use glossy cardstock here. And I had some in my stash. So these rings of the Ladybug's body are cut from that. And the antennae, rather than stamping them, I actually used a Cricut cut that goes with the Stitched Together Cricut collection that Close to My Heart has, because there is a ladybug in that collection. So I just cut some of the antennae out so that you can decide which direction you want your ladybug to go and make it all work for you that way. So this is another fun card. And again, no cutting on your part, no coloring, and you just assemble it together. Use your little brad to allow the wings to open up and give your sentiment to whoever you're sending that to. The final card I alluded to before, and that is the one using the Mason Jar Bouquet stamp set. These are the flowers that come with the Mason Jar Bouquet that I also used inside the boot. But here's something that's interesting. Remember me telling you that I was going to give you the flowers that went with the boots if you wanted to use them? Those flowers also fit over the mason jar. So again, when you receive this piece in your packet, you can decide whether you want to use it with the mason jar or maybe you want to put it in with the boot. But here's what's fun with this. This is a die, and there is a stamp that allows this image along the side that makes it look like there is some reflection on the mason jar glass. I used a very light gray in order to give the feel of this without it being too strong of a contrast on the jar. Now, I don't know if you can tell or not, but this is embossed. You can feel it with the texture. However, I do not have a really light gray embossing powder, and I do not have a really light gray pigment ink. But during the class, I will show you how I was able to emboss that, even though I didn't have either of those things, by using other products that are in my stash. So again, you're just going to have a little bit of coloring here. The die cuts a slit in the mason jar right there so that you can slip the flowers into there, and you can cut them apart and move them around however you want to. Now, something to brighten your day is a nice sentiment to use on here, but maybe you have other uses for this. So I have got several other options here of sentiments that will work on this banner right here. And by the way, the banners are already dovetailed for you. I cut them on the Cricut, so you don't have to worry about that. Thinking of you, happy birthday, and something special just for you. So those are the options with this card. You do get silver glitter gems with this card. This is a piece of background paper from the mix-in papers in the current catalog. I've used an older embossing folder for this background, but it's light and airy, and I think it's just a fun, clean, simple card that you can send off in the mail and hopefully brighten somebody's day. So those are the 4 cards. Those are the ones that we're going to be making. Here's the deal that you can have for the class. Number one, there is no stamping fee because you're not able to come in and do your own stamping. So since I don't have to set up the room, I don't have to set up all the stamping stations, I can take that time and actually do the stamping for you. Secondly, you get to pick the 4 cards that you want to do. I often have people tell me, you know what, this one's really not the type of card that I normally would do. Could I do 2 of this other one instead? And that's fine. There's pretty much equal value to all of these cards in the kit. So if you want to do 2 different cards, 2 of each, or 3 of one card and 1 of another one, that's fine. You just tell me what you want and I'll put the kit together the way you want it to be. There may be some limitations on the amount of paper. If that's the case, I'll just switch it out for something comparable, but you'll at least get 1 card in your kit with all of the specialized papers and things like that. But hopefully you'll want to join us and see if you can get into that Zoom meeting. They're really fun and it's not complicated. I haven't really had anybody have issues jumping into a Zoom meeting yet. Don't hesitate to contact me if you've got questions. I will be putting the dates in the email and in the notes about this video on YouTube and in Facebook so that you'll know when you need to let me know by, because you've got to come and pick it up. It only, if you're local, it's only about $2.75 if you want me to mail the kit to you. That gives me tracking so that I know that it's going to get there on time. But anyway, hopefully I'll be seeing you soon on Zoom and really soon in the classroom as well. Thanks.